All right, let's get started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the third episode of Build With Me, a weekly kick-ass hands-on workshop organized the base camp where we take you from the very basics of any given topic and end up building a really cool project with it. So today we have a really special guest with us. Hey, hi Sumit.
Hello everyone, welcome to today's workshop. My name
Awesome.
is
So
Sumeet
Sumit
Yadav.
will be.
Yeah,
Yes, we can hear you.
yeah,
Perfect. Awesome. So okay, I'm pretty excited about this particular project because it's involved a lot of Node.js and Express.js. This is something which we not usually talk about, and this is the first time we are going to build a project with it. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I think like let's not waste much time over here and let's quickly jump into it. Okay, Sumit, over to you.
thank you Rishabh. Thank you for the introduction. Okay, just give me a second. Let me share my screen. Rishabh, can you confirm that my screen is visible?
Well, it's still loading. Hopefully it will. Oh yes, we can see it now. Perfect.
Okay, cool. Just give me a second. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to today's workshop. The workshop title is Intro to the Server Side. In this workshop, we are going to learn about the basics of server side development. And in the last, we are also going to build a cool website also. So let me give my introduction first. My name is Sumit Yadav. I'm currently pursuing Bachelor in Computer Applications from Navrachna University, Vadodara. I'm a full stack web developer and I'm a full Flutter developer also. I'm a flight simulator enthusiast, which means I play flight simulator games a lot, like seriously a lot. I'm also a Hashnode ambassador. So for those who don't know what is Hashnode, Hashnode is a tech blogging website. It's a really nice website. You can find very nice tech related blogs there. So I'm also a Hashnode ambassador. I'm a dog lover also. So that's the introduction parts. So let's quickly see our today's agenda. So in today's workshop, we are going to see what is Node.js. We are also going to learn about what is npm modules or package. We are also going to learn about what is Express.js and what are APIs. And we are also going to learn about what is EJS, what are template engines, alternatives of EJS, what are dynamic websites, and how to send dynamic content onto the website. And last but not the least, we are going to build a weather web app using Node.js, Express, and EJS. So let's quickly see our first topic. What is Node.js and where to use it? So Node.js is a server-side platform. Basically, it's built on the Google Chrome JavaScript engine, and it was developed by the Ryan Dell in 2009. Node.js is a open source software, which means you can change the source code or you can access the source code of this Node.js. Node.js applications are written in JavaScript. The companies which are using Node.js in the backend are Microsoft, Uber, Netflix, and PayPal. Okay, now let's see where to use Node.js. So we can use Node.js in input-output bound application, IO bound application. We can also use Node.js in the data streaming application like Netflix. We can also use it in JSON API-based application like the weather web app, which we are going to build today, in which the data is fetched in a JSON format, which is in JavaScript object. We can also use it in a single page application. So what is single page application? Let me show you it in the next slide. So basically there are two types of website. There is a traditional website and there are single page applications. So in traditional website or traditional application, for every new request for new information, the whole the whole page get refreshed, which means the new version of the whole page get. So suppose you have a div. In that div, you have a button. So on clicking that button, the background of that div has to be changed. So when you click on that button in traditional applications, the whole website get refreshed, which means the newer version of the whole website get to us. But in single page application, if you click on that button, only the div will get refreshed, which means only the new version of that div will come, not the entire page will get refreshed. So that's the advantage, like the what like the load on the server get reduced. Okay, now let's say where not to use Node.js. So it is not advisable to use Node.js from for CPU intensive application. Suppose, let me give you an example. If you have a Bitcoin mining website on which you want the client CPU power to mine Bitcoins, so it is not advisable to use Node.js in that kind of websites. Okay, now let's see how to install Node.js in the Windows. So in order to do that, you have to first download the Windows installer for the Node.js. Then you have to choose the LTS version, which is shown on the left. So let me show you. You have to choose this version instead of this current version. Okay, then you have to simply run the installer. I think like you all know how to install software. So you have to follow the prompt, you have to accept the license a bunch of time, and you have to click the next button a bunch of time, and you have to accept the default setting. And once you receive this prompt, you have to select npm package manager instead of Node.js runtime. By default, it's Node.js runtime, but you have to select this npm package manager. Now, there are some additional steps you have to follow to run the Node.js. So you have to restart your computer. You would not be able to run Node.js until you restart your computer. So now, how to confirm that the node has been successfully installed on your computer or not? So you have to simply open the command prompt, and you have to type this command node space hyphen hyphen version, and you will see the version of the node you are currently using. So like this, you write the node space minus minus version, and you got the current version. So in my case, it was 14.16.0, but in your case, it will be around, I think. Okay, I close the Node.js website. So basically, this version will not be there. It will be another. Okay, now let's see what is npm. So npm stands for Node Package Manager. npm is a package manager for Node.js packages. So what are packages? A package contains all the file you need for a module. So suppose you are downloading a Express module. So the npm will download the package that contains all the file the Express needs. Okay. So now what are modules? So modules are JavaScript libraries you can include in your project. Now let's see how to install npm package or module. So in order to do that, you have to open the terminal, and you have to write this command npm install package name, or you can also write npm I package name, and then you have to hit the enter, and it will install the package. Now how to use that package? So you have to create a constant variable, or you can create a let variable, and you have to give it a name, and you have to write require, and in single quotes or double quote you have to give your package name. I can see that Krish has given us the current version of Node.js. Yes, it is 14.17.3. Thank you, Krish, for helping me out. Okay, now let's see the example of Node.js. So, sorry, the npm. So, suppose you have a Lego house, and if you want to add trees around your Lego house, instead of building the whole tree from the scratch, what you can do, you can simply use npm, and from npm you can download the tree package, and you can put those pre-built trees around your Lego house. So basically, it will save your lot of time and efforts. Okay, now let's see what is Express.js. So Express.js, or simply Express, is a backend web application framework for Node.js. So basically, it is used to code the backend. Express.js is also free and open source as Node.js. Uh, it is under the MIT license. So for those of you who don't know what is MIT license, basically MIT license was created by the Massachusetts Institute of Technologies in early 90s. And basically it reduced the restriction on reusing the code, and we can also use the MIT license with other license application also, like GNU, general public license application also. And we can use Express.js for developing web applications and framework. Okay, now let's see what are APIs. So API stands for Application Programming Interface. We can use API in many cases, like to get data from a web application, or to connect to a remote server that has data like weather that keeps changing, or to enable two applications to exchange data among each other. So now let's see some examples of API. So the first example is signing up in any website using Facebook authentication. So you guys have might seen when you are trying to sign up on any website, you see a button called sign up with Facebook. So when you click on that button, the current website get connected to the Facebook server using the API, and by that you can authenticate yourself using your Facebook account on the current website. The second example, you can fetch memes using meme API. So let me show you it pictorial. So there is a client browser. So once you make a request for the meme, the client browser will send a request for the meme to the server. So in this case, the server will be the meme provider server, like we have Tenor, which is a really good website which provides API for the memes. So that server will send back a response with meme, and our client browser will render that meme on a web page. So this is how the API works. Now let's see the visual working of our website. Okay, so first, when we are trying to access okay, there is a light strike here. Okay. So when you are trying to access the weather web app using the browser, so the browser will first send a GET request to our server for the necessary files like the HTML, CSS, and JS file, so that the browser can render the page. So in response of that GET request, our server will send the necessary files like the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, so that the browser can render. Now, if the client search for the weather of some particular city, so our server don't have that data. So, so our server don't have that data. So what our server will do? Our server will send a GET request to someone else server using the API, and that someone else server is holding that weather data, and that server will send a response back to our server with that particular piece of data, and that data will be sent back to the browser by our server with the fresh HTML CSS page. So the website so the browser get the data. So this how the whole web app is going to be work. Okay, now let's start building our website. Okay, so before that, let me give you the introduction of what is the language, or which frameworks and tools which we are going to use today in this website. So first, we are going to use VS Code. VS Code is a source code editor. It's a really good editor. So I'm going to use VS Code as my editor. Then I'm going to use JavaScript, and we are going to use ES6 functions features. And then third, we are going to use Node.js, and in Node.js we are also going to use some npm packages. like Express JS for setting a server. We are also going to use EJS. So EJS is used to make the HTML page dynamic, and it is also used to inject data which you are getting from the API to the HTML. We're also going to use node fetch to fetch data from the API, and we are also going to use body parser to fetch the data from the HTML form. And fifth, we are going to use .env to create the environment variable. Just give me a second. Okay. Now, before starting this building process, I need to tell you something. We are just dividing this whole practical session in two parts. So in the first part, we are going to set up our server. We will see how to set up the server. We will see the basic syntax of Node.js and Express. And we will create a simple web app without any styling and all, so that the basics of the Express.js and Node will be clear to all. And in the second part, we will learn about the EJS, how what are template engines and all, and we will make our website look more attractive by sending the CSS to the browser. So these are the steps to build a weather web app. First step is to set up our server using Express.js. The second step is to send necessary files back to the browser. So we will learn how to do that also. So this first and second step we will cover in the first part, and the EJS part, like the injecting the data received from the API into the HTML file using EJS, will be covered in the second part. Okay, so let me just give me a second. Okay. Now, first of all, you need to open the command prompt. Just give me a second. Okay. Now we have to make our project folder on desktop. So we are currently in C user Sumeet directory. So we have to change our directory and come inside this desktop folder. So for that, you have to write CD desktop. And now we are inside the desktop folder. Now here we have to create a project folder. So for that, you have to write mkdir, which means make a directory, and the folder name. Let's keep it weather app. Okay, so the folder is created. Now we have to get inside this folder. So again, cd and the folder name, which will be weather app. Now we need two more files. The first one will be the index.html, and the second one will be the index.js, or you can take server.js also. So let's take server.js. So cd.angular bracket to create the file, and then you have to write the file name, which will be index.html and server.js. So we have successfully created our both files. Now it's time to initialize the npm so that we can download the npm packages and modules. So for that, you have to write npm init, and it will initialize the npm. First of all, it will ask you for the package name. You can give your own, but I am okay with the weather app, so I will simply press enter. Now it will ask you for the version name, so I'm okay with the 1.0.0, so enter again. Then we have to give a short description, so weather web app. Okay. Then it will ask you for the entry point. We want server.js as our entry point, so enter again. We don't have to write anything inside this test command, nothing inside this GitHub repository, and nothing inside this keyboard. In authors, you have to give your name, Sumeet Yadav, license, keep it ISC, and now it will compile your input in a JSON format, which is a JavaScript object. And last, it will ask you for the, is this okay? So yes, it is okay. Okay, so we got our package.json file here. So this package.json file contain all this input we have just given you. Now it's time to install our first module, which is Express. So I have to write npm express Now it will download all the package required for this particular module. So it contains 50 package from 37 contributors. Okay, now let me open this folder in my VS Code. So I will write code dot. Okay, so now you have to come inside this server.js folder, and now we have to import the Express module. So we have to create a variable. So I'm creating a constant variable called Express. Give me a second. Okay. Now we have to write require to require that module, and in double quotes or single quote you have to write your name, package name or the module name. We have to create another constant variable called app, and we have to write express. Okay, sorry, express and open and close parenthesis. So basically this constant variable app is representing the express module. So every time when we want to use the express module, we have to first write app and then dot and the method. So now we have to set up our server on port number 3000. So what is this port number 3000? Okay, okay, I will increase the font size. Is it perfect now? Krish, is it perfect? Okay, I think I should continue. Yes. Okay, now we have to, okay, thank you. Now we have to set up our server on port number 3000. So what is this port number 3000? So basically, port 3000 is a channel on which our website is going to be tuned. So every time when you want to access our website, you have to write localhost. Why localhost? Because we are hosting our website locally, and then colon and the port number, which will be 3000. So let me give you a simple example. So this port number 3000 is just like the radio frequency. So when you want to listen to a radio station, what you will do? You will simply just tune your radio set to a particular radio station frequency, and you can hear the musics. So this is also like saying we are tuning our website on this port 3000. So if you want to visit our website, you have to write localhost colon and 3000, and you can see the website. So for that, we have to write app.listen, and we have to give a port number, which will be 3000, and we have to create a callback function. And here I will simply log server is running. Now if I go back to the terminal, and if I write node server.js, says our server is running. So we have successfully started our server. Now let me go to the browser. Okay, now if I write localhost colon 3000, it give me an error. It says cannot get. Zoom it in. Yes, say it give me an error cannot get. So what does it mean? It means that our browser is sending a get request back to the server, but the server is not responding on that get request. So we need to make a get method to resolve this problem. So I will write app dot get, and now we have to give the route of the page. So we are on the home route, so we have to only give the slash. If you are on the about us page or on a contact page, you have to write contact for contact page. Sorry, the spelling is wrong. And if you are on the about page, you have to simply write slash about. So we are on the home page, so I will only give the slash. And now we have to again create a callback function with two arguments, request and response. So I will write request as rack and response as res. Now we have to send a response. So I will write res dot send, and let's send hello world. Okay. Now, every time you make any changes inside your code, you have to first terminate the server, and and then you have to write again the node server.js. So in order to terminate the server, you have to simply control plus C, and it will terminate the uh, server, and you have to write node server.js again. So it will be really hectic, like for every time we have to write node server.js. So what we can do, we can simply install another module called nodemon. So this module will basically search for the changes inside your code, and whenever it detects any changes, it will simply restart or refresh the server automatically. So it will make our life easier. Okay, so the module is downloaded. So now instead of node server.js, we have to write nodemon server.js. Okay, so it says the server is running. So if I remove this exclamation mark, you can see that our server is restarted due to the changes, and it's restarted again. So now if I go to the browser and refresh the page, you can see the hello world is printed now. So now instead of this hello world, we need the HTML, basic HTML form, so that we can search for the weather for a particular city. So what I will do, I will come inside this index.html, get my boiler template, and in title I will give weather web app. Okay. Now inside this body, I have to make a form with post request, and in action you have to give the route of the page. So I am giving this slash. Now you have to make a label. So let's make a label for city name, and we also need a input text field. Give the name of field as city and ID also city, and let me add a br tag here. Okay, and last we need a submit button. So button type submit, and inside here I will write search. Come back to the server.js, and now instead of this res.send, we have to send a whole file. So I will write res.send file, and then you have to give the directory of that file. So we are in the same directory, the server.js and index.js is in the same directory. So what I will do, I will simply write underscore underscore dir name. So basically this will fetch this much part of the directory, and then we have to use string concatenation, and we have to only write slash index.html. Now the server is restarted. Perfect. Now if I refresh the page, we can see the basic HTML form. Let me zoom it in. Yes, we can see our basic HTML form with the input field and search button. So now if I, let me turn off the autocomplete. Okay. Okay. Now if I enter anything inside this input field, and if I hit the search button, it will give an error again. It says cannot post. So what does it mean? It means same as cannot get. The browser is sending a get request, sorry, a post request to a server, but the server is not responding on that post request. So come back to the server.js again, and we have to make a app.post method to resolve this problem. Same, we have to give the route, so it will be home route, and we have to make another callback function with two argument rec and res, and now we will send a response. So res.send, and let's send thank you response. Come back to the browser, refresh the browser, let's enter Vadodara here. If I make a search, it says thank you. So we have successfully created a get method and post method for our website. Now it's time to fetch the data for the city which the user has just inputted. So from where we are getting the API. So we are going to use this website called Open Weather Map. It's a really nice website. It's free. You need to just sign up here and click on this API. Now we are fetching the current weather data. So click on this API docs and we are searching by city name. So this is the API path. So there are some paths and parameters which we have to follow while making the API URL. So the key which will be storing the city name is Q, as you can see here. The Q is storing the city name, and the API key is stored by this app ID. So you can't give the app ID first and the city name or the queue in the end. You need to follow the path also. So the city name will come first, and then you have to give the API key or the app ID. So to get the app ID, you have to simply click on this your username and click on the my API key. So I'm not disclosing my API key because it's a good practice to not disclose your API key in public for some security purpose. So you are getting your API key. You have to simply click on this username and click on this my API key, and you will get your API key there. So I'm just copying this much part. Come back to the uh, server.js, and first task is to fetch the city name from this input field. So for that we are going to use another module called body parser. So body parser will help us to fetch the data from the HTML page. So I will terminate the server and I will write npm I body parser. Let's wait for it to be get downloaded. Okay, it's downloaded. Now let me import it. So constant body parser require body parser. Okay. Now we have to use that body parser. So we have to write app.use body parser, and body parser has different mode inside it. There is a JSON mode, there is a text mode. But the mode which we are going to use today is URL encoded. Why? Because if you want to fetch anything from the HTML form, then you have to use this URL encoded mode. And we have to also set an option called extended as true, so we can fetch the nested data also. Okay, now we have to create a variable called location, and now we have to write request dot body. We want data from the body, and then we have to give the name of the input field. So the name is city, so I will write city. Now we also have to update our function to asynchronous. So I will write async, and basically asynchronous return a promise of getting a task to be done. So I will write a wait keyword here. So it will first wait for the location to be fetched, and then it will move to the another step. Yes, Krish, we are also going to use .env in this project. So please wait. Okay. Now, what I will do, I will create another variable. Let's create a constant variable called URL, and let me get a backticks here, and we will paste the URL which we have copied from the uh, open weather map, and make sure to add HTTPS in the beginning, otherwise it will not work. So add HTTPS, and now delete this city name and add a $sign and write the variable which is storing the data. So it's location. Now how you will hide your API key from the from public. So we are going to use another module called NodeMon. Sorry. Okay. So we are also going to use another module called .env. So basically, this module will going to help us to create environment variable so that we can hide our uh, API keys from the public. So let me quickly install it. So I will write .env. Okay, it's installed. Now you have to make a file with .env, and now you have to write API key, and you have to add a is equal to sign, and you have to paste your API key here. Make sure you don't paste your API key in single or double quotes, or you don't have to like put a semicolon in the end. Just paste it raw here. So I have my API key already in my .env file. So I will simply copy this .env and paste it here. Okay. Oh, okay, no problem. I will delete it. Okay, so it's disclosed. My API key is disclosed. No worries, I will delete that API key now. Okay, so you have to add a dollar sign here, and now we have to use the .env. So I will write app, no app. We have to write require. We have to give the .env, and then you have to write config and open and close parenthesis. Now come back to the URL and write process.env and the variable name which is storing the API key. So it is API key. So write API key here. API key. Okay. Now the URL is created. Now we have to make another constant function for the response. Now let me add a wait keyword. And now in order to fetch the data from the API, we need to use another module called NodeMon. So it will help us to fetch the data from the API. So I will write npm I node. Why I'm saying NodeMon again and again? It's node fetch. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit nervous right now. Okay, so now I have to include it. So constant fetch is equals to require node fetch. Okay. Now we have to write fetch and we have to give the URL. So it will fetch the data from the URL and store it here in this variable. Now we have to again make another variable called weather data, and we have to change the the data which we are getting from the API is in the hex form. So we need to change the data in a JSON form. So we have to write response dot JSON. So it will change the hex data in a JSON format. Disconnect. Okay, I'm back online. Okay. Okay, so now we have to make a variable which we are which are storing the data, weather data. So let me create a variable for temp, which is storing the temperature of the. Let me okay. Let me first log this weather data, so you can see the data which we are getting back from the API. Okay, so let me get my server up again. Okay, normal server dot. Yes, refresh the browser. Let's search for the data for the Vadodara. Okay, promise pending. There is an error. Have to also add a wait here. Okay, so we got the data, we got the coordinates, we got the weather, we got the description of the weather in Vadodara, we got the temperature, but the temperature looks little bit weird. We are not getting the temperature in Celsius. So we have to come again on the open weather map. And here you can see units. Click on this learn mode. And you can see if we want to change our temperature into Celsius, we need to add unit as matrix in the last of the URL. So we will go in the end of the URL and add a and sign and paste it here. Now let me go to the browser, refresh the browser, and now if I enter Vadodara here, make a search again, and now okay, why the why it is still okay, we got another data. Yes, so now we are getting the data in Celsius form. Okay, now it's time to store the necessary data in a variable and send those data back to the browser. So let me create a constant variable for temperature. And now in order to fetch the temperature, you have to come inside this uh, main first, and then you have to fetch this temp. So first you have to give the variable which is storing the weather data. So weather data dot main dot temp. Let me show you by console logging. Okay, so we got the temperature here in console. So now let's fetch some other data also, like the description of the weather. So weather data dot, and now we have to come inside the weather, and the index will be 0, and then we have to fetch this description. Okay, okay, so we have to come inside the weather, index value will be 0 dot description. Let me create another variable for the icon of the weather. So if you go on to the open weather map again, click on this list of condition codes and click on this weather condition codes. And you can also see that the open weather map also provide us the icon of the weather also. So you need to just fetch the icon ID, and you need to simply put that icon ID in this URL, and you will get the uh, icon also. So let me copy this URL. Let me paste it here. Let me create another variable called image URL. Okay. Now we have to fetch the icon ID. So I will create another variable called icon weather data dot. So the icon is also in the weather uh, data. So we have to write dot weather, index value will be 0, and icon. Make sure the okay icon. Now instead of this 10D, what we have to do? Yes. So instead of this 10D, we have to write icon. So it will simply paste the icon ID, which is 04D. in this URL. Now it's the exciting part. We have to send this data back to the browser. So we have to write res.write, because we can use res.send for only one time. So res.write, and let's send the data in a h1 tag. So the current weather in dollar location. Okay, sorry, my bad. I have to give tactics. Dollar location is dollar is storing the description of the. Okay, my bad. It's this. Okay. Now let's send another response. So res.write and another h1. The current temperature is temp degree Celsius. Okay. And last we have to send the icon. So res.write, we need an icon tag. So sorry, image tag, and we have to give the source, and in double quotes or in single quotes we have to write dollar and image URL. And I forgot to close the image tag. Now let's see, is it work? The moment of truth. Okay. Okay, so now let's search weather for Delhi. And the current weather in Delhi is mist. The current temperature is 32.05 degrees Celsius, and we got this little icon also. Let's make a change in temperature. Uh, let's floor divide it. So what I will do, I will simply write math.floor, that we get the digit before the decimal point. Okay, now let me refresh the browser. Okay, we got 32. Perfect. Okay, so this was for the first part. We have completed our first part of the practical session. So this is how you can make your simple weather web app using HTML only. Now we are moving to our second part. So in second part, we are going to learn about the EJS. What is EJS? What are template engines? And we are also going to make this website look more attractive by adding style in it. So what is EJS? So EJS, let me show you the official website of EJS. So EJS is stands for Embedded JavaScript Templating. It's a templating engine used by the Node.js. So basically, it helps us to make the HTML page dynamic. So how? By injecting the data which we are getting from the API in a HTML file. Okay. So alternatives. Let's talk about the alternatives of EJS. So the alternatives are pub, and then we have HBS also. But I recommend you to use EJS. It's faster than other. Okay. So now what we are going to do, we are going to delete this index.html, and I have my pre-built front end here. I have also uploaded the source code for this front end on my GitHub. I will give this. I will give the repository link in the chat box. Let me paste it. Okay. Rishabh, can you paste this repository link in the? Okay. Thank you, Rishabh. Okay, so you can download my frontend from my repository and you can also use it for your project also. Now, what we are going to do now, we have to first install the Express EJS module. So we have to write node IEJS. Let's wait for it to be get downloaded. Okay, it's downloaded. Now we have to create a views folder. Make sure you will make sure you have to make a views folder, not any other folder. You have to make views folder only. Now we have to set the EJS for this views folder. So we have to write app.set and then we have to write view engine and we have to write EJS. Okay. Now I will go to the folder. I will copy this front end, the index.html file, and I will paste that file here. Okay. Now you have to also make another folder for public. So basically this uh, file is going to store your static files like the CSS, JS and image or video files. So let me go to the, okay, now I will copy this static file, copy and paste it inside this public. Okay, so all files are here now. Now instead of this res.send file, we have to write res.render and we have to write index here. And also one thing I forgot, you have to change the extension to EJS instead of HTML. Now you have to only write index, not index.html, no index.ej, only write index. Now let me get my server up again. Now if I refresh the browser, no, okay, so we got this, but it not look like expected. So we have to like declare this public file as static. So we have to write app dot use express dot static and you have to give the file name which will be public. Okay. Okay, let me zoom it out. Now it's perfect. So you have to declare this what called the public file as static. I have mistaken. I have already linked the what called the CSS. So it will is going, but you have to not include that. Okay. Now let me refresh the browser. Okay. We have to. Okay. Okay. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Okay. Are the background image dynamic to the weather? No, it's not dynamic. It's static only. Okay. Now, in EJS, we have to send some data back to the index.html. So what we have to do, we are going to make a variable. Let's take a constant variable called send data. So when user come to the website, instead of this data like the Vadodara 30 degree and all, you got like here location, you got here the temp, the description, and we also get view more. So we get this toggle um, description box. So it will describe the feel like, the humidity of the city, and also the speed. You also got this little clock here with the date, and here is the search box. So hope you like this UI. Okay, now we have to make an object, and now in this object we need to pass. Okay, we need to pass the location, temp, description, and this three data. So total six data we have to pass. Okay, so first we need to pass location. So I will write location here. Then we want to send temp. So temp, and after that we have to send description. So description. Okay, we like humidity. And last, we need to send speed of the wind. So speed. Okay. Now just add a comma here and open the uh, yes, it is. Oh, sorry. Okay. Open the curly brackets, and you have to write the first the send data, and add a colon, and you have to write again the send data. Now come inside this index.ejs. Now we have this Vadodara here. Just delete it, and the EJS tag is this. Let me show you. The EJS tag is arrow, open arrow bracket, and percentage is equals to, and then we have to enter the data, and then percentage, and close the arrow bracket. So we have to open arrow bracket, percentage is equals to, and when we have to write this send data, send data dot, and we want to fetch the location. So I will write dot location. Okay, now if I close the, let me refresh the page. You can see that we are able to fetch, we are able to inject the data here. So we got this location. So let me quickly uh, add other data also. So I will copy this, paste it here, and instead of this temp location, I will write temp. Instead of this haze, I will write desk. Okay. Now instead of feel, I will write feel. Now instead of this 88, I will add humidity. And instead of this 4, I will add speed. Okay, OP, we got our data injected here successfully. So what is the use of injecting the data in the get request? Why we are not injecting? Why we can also write here the field or the location here? Why we are injecting the data in the in the get request? Because when you are hosting this website on any hosting service platform like the GoDaddy and etc. So when a user search for Vadodara, the user get the data of the Vadodara. But if the another user opens a website, we got the same data which the previous user is searching for. So when like more than one person is serving this website, we the data will be get clashed. So the first user will also get the Vadodara. So if the second user come to the website, he will also get the data as Vadodara. So we are to recover this problem, we are sending this data in the what called in get request. So now let me delete this part. We don't need the icon and icon URL in this project. Now we need to again create a constant variable called send data here also, and then close parenthesis. Now we have to push the temp, the disk data inside this variable. So what I will do, I will simply do send data dot temp is equals to the variable which is storing the temp. Okay, my bad. Now send data dot disk. I have also here written disk. Disk is equals to this. It's disk. Okay. Now we have to also send the location. So we will write send data dot location is equals to the variable which is storing the location. So location, and we have successfully sent those three data, but we also need this three data also. So go to the okay. So where is the field like? Okay, so the field like is inside the main, and we have to like fields like, and the humidity is also in the main, but the speed is in the wind and the speed. Okay, so I have to write send data dot field is equals to weather data dot main dot feels like. Now again send data dot humidity weather data dot main dot humidity, and last we need the speed of the wind. So speed weather data dot wind dot speed. Okay, now we have to again render the web page. So I will write res dot render, and again index comma send data colon send data. Now let's test it out. I think everything is perfect. Let me refresh this page. Okay, perfect. Server is up or not? Let me see that. Okay, it's running. So let's search for Indore. Okay, let's see what we get. We get the data or not? We are not getting the output. Why? We got it. Okay, we got the data, but it's too late. Let me just refresh the whole localhost colon 3000. Now let's search for the Vadodara. Okay, so in Vadodara, we got the location, we got the temperature, and we got the description. It's heavy, intensive rain, and we also get the feel like is 35.98. 89% is the humidity, and 4.12 is the speed of the wind. So let's add the country uh, ID also here. So let me go to the data. Okay, so the country is inside the sys and then country. Okay, send data dot country is equals to weather data dot sys dot country. Okay, country. Okay, let's give a default value as nothing. Now I will add the country name here. So I will just add a comma and percentage is equals to and percentage close. Send data dot country. Let's see works or not. Okay, we are not. Everything is perfect. Then why we are not getting the data? Okay, it's not in the main. It's sys and then country. I think I do something wrong. No, it's perfect. The spelling is perfect. Let's add a space here. I'm not getting the country name. Okay, okay, I got it. Think I got it. No, I don't got it. Okay, let's just leave it. Okay, so there is an error. I don't know what is the error. I need to take some time to just to resolve this, but I will make a blog on this project. So I will hopefully add this country name in that blog also. So just take a reference from there. I think I got it. No, our server is also not running properly. Precious if clause, but the let's see. Okay, country says let me just do a thing. Suppose place info. Let's take it place info. Do it here again. Send data dot country. The server is also running, but why I'm not getting the data? Let me terminate this server. Oh, we got the data. Let me terminate this server first, and let me write node server dot js again. Okay, now we got Vadodara. Okay, now we got this. Okay, guys. So I'm done from my side. So this is how you can make weather web app using EJS, Node, and Express. It is really easy. It is not that much difficult. You can also make it, and you can also use find this blog informative. So if you like this workshop, just give a thumbs up in the chat box so that I can know that how many of you find this oh Krish, if you have any doubt you can put your doubt in chat. I will help it. Okay, I think there is an internet issue from my side. Rishabh, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay,
For a
so
second, you got like disconnected, but now, yeah, you are audible.
yes, there was an internet issue from my side. So that's all from my side. Thank you guys for joining this workshop. I'm really glad that you have joined. So I hope that you find this blog, this work shop informative and interactive. I will make a blog on this how to make a feather web app using EJS and Express, and I will upload that blog on Hashnode and dev.to. So make sure you go to this link and follow me. So I will soon make a blog on this weather web app. And if you have any doubt, you can in future you can ping me on Discord. This is my Discord ID and this is my Twitter ID. You can also ping me there also. So now over to Rishabh.
Thank you so much, Sumit. That was amazing. It was really fun building that project with you. And before moving on, guys, I just posted a feedback link in the live chat. So please go ahead and share your feedback with us. It really, helps us to understand what you like and improve our workshops in general. And thank you so much, Sumit, for once again, thank you so much, Sumit, for this amazing workshop. Thank you so much to all the audience who joined us today and building all this workshop. We got stuck somewhere, but that's how the real fun happens, solving bugs and everything. Amazing. And as usual, you will find all the social links of Summit in the description. Do check them out. Do join our Discord server. All the links again will be in description. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel because this is just getting started. We will have more sessions with Summit in the future, and we can't wait for all of you to get together, build amazing things. And the repo and all the resources will be posted in Discord, as well as if you have registered for the workshop, you will receive them in your inbox. So yeah, make sure to fill the feedback link, and thank you so much. We will see you in the next week. We have a lot of things cooking over here in the base camp, and amazing things are going to happen. So, once again, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. We'll see you next week. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you, Rishabh. Bye, everyone.